Hey, Billy. Tips on language to use around or when talking with neurodivergent kids.
Yeah, so this is a really good one. The reason this
You need to adapt your language?
Yes. Yep. So
Why?
because some language can be really destructive to neurodivergent kids
Like what?
and individuals. So things like metaphors. You know, things like, you know, you're like a bull in a china shop or something like that. The kid's like, how am I like a bull? Because they're so literal.
So literal.
So they're just like,
Right.
do you know what I mean? It's not helpful to them. Vague language and, you know, ambiguous language, being clear, specific, giving space for processing, you know, direct. You know what I mean? Like these kids really need this. Like you would argue all kids need this. Yeah, directness, you know, but also just making sure there's space, there's connection first, all of that stuff, and not just like, to Clarky's example, we do this with all kids, like, I'll just say it louder and more sternly, and you should now get into the car, or you know, you should now understand me. But neurodivergent kids, those things often make them worse. I would argue most kids, but they're just really set up for the certain ways that we think they should be able to understand language, or, you know, body language, for example, or facial expressions and things like that. That's our own bias, that you should understand that I'm upset because I've got my arms crossed or because I'm frowning my brow. Like, you have to be really clear in what you're actually asking of them and understand that a good way of thinking about it is that they're processing every bit of information in an environment. So you've got to make it as clear and easy as possible for them to pick up the bits that you really want them to. Otherwise, there's a vulnerability that they pick up the wrong stuff or get overwhelmed by how much is coming in, especially if it's conflicting or confusing.
Okay, good. I like that. Yeah, the metaphors, I can see how they can be confusing.
Yeah, totally. And I think you're so good at this, that all those things, like, you know, just, you know, vague and, you know, ambiguous components of socialization, for example, that I'm not so good at. I miss it. And then what often happens with neurodivergent kids is they'll scrutinize afterwards. They'll be like, I stuffed it up, I messed it up, it's my fault, they didn't get the joke, I've ruined that friendship, and all that stuff. But it's about actually the other individual understanding what their needs are in simple things like communication.
Yep. Storybooks, by the way, are really good around this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just, you've bought me a really cool set of books.
Oh, yeah, they're great, aren't they?
Yeah, but I'm actually onto this new one. It's not sponsored. Have you heard of Billy B. Brown or Hello Jack?
No,
oh, God, I'll give you that
first
set.
name,
They're so good at this stuff. They just create scenarios. It's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
so
really
understanding
love the books.
role play, imagination, all of that stuff is really powerful ways for kids to learn.
So we sit there and just pause a little bit. And it's 4 chapters. It's the same stuff over and over. It's really good. I'll give them to you because Evie probably should be set to go. This is so good. Anyway, just a shout out. Anyway, I like books.
They're sponsoring the next step.
This podcast is brought to you by Guiding Growing Minds, a social enterprise that aims to give all children the best opportunity to reach their potential and succeed in living rich and meaningful lives.